Oh, Blade. So, if you are new here, I would welcome you to watch any and all of my other previous videos on Blade. I have consistently been covering Blade and any and all announcements, rumors since this thing was announced. Blade has been a huge impact on Marvel because, as I've said before, and I'll continue to say it, there would be no MCU if Blade had not saved Marvel from bankruptcy to even have an MCU to begin with. The day Walker walked, so Tony Stark could fly. Okay. So a lot of respect goes on the character of Blade's name. And a lot of respect goes on Wesley Snipes, who recently we saw come back in the Deadpool and Wolverine with his feature, and that was fantastic. Um, so Blade is important, right? Blade matters. But Blade has gone through a long litany of problems. We've gone through multiple writers, we've gone through multiple directors. And with all of these different things, oh, by the way, we also had a writer strike, so that was also a thing. But with all of these hurdles and challenges, we've had delay after delay after delay after delay. Even Mahershala Ali's lawyer had talked about how this was just ridiculous. This was crazy. This is the craziest thing I had ever seen, right? And it is. This was announced in 2019. It's 2024, and nothing has happened. Now, we've heard a number of different things, such as Mahershala Ali has been given extra privileges, like he has script approval, probably say on who the director should be, etc. Um, and that probably has contributed to things. Like if you guys bring this man a boo-boo script, I'm glad that he can say no. He's a two-time Oscar award winner. Let the man say no. I'm fine with that. But you also had, even during whether it's the pandemic, whether it's the writer strike, a lack of oversight, and I would say that that goes on Kevin Feige, where he was the one that looked at the script and was like, "What is this? This is trash. Y'all fired. We got to bring in somebody else." They brought in Michael Green, who did Logan, Blue Eye Samurai. He did a script. I believe they liked it, and then they brought in another guy who did Thor Ragnarok to kind of polish it up. And the last thing we had heard was that everybody was happy. And then we lost another director. But the script, supposedly, everyone liked. Now, I had done, and I encourage y'all to, if you haven't seen it, go back and watch my video where I talk about finally getting an official update, like when we finally heard something from Kevin Feige himself about Blade. And we looked at the interviews. We looked at the interview where some of my colleagues finally asked Kevin Feige straight up what's going on with the delays. And the one thing that kind of stood out to me the most was when Kevin Feige compared Blade, the process of making Blade, with the process of making Deadpool and Wolverine. And in so many words, he was like, we had to find that magical element, which was finding Hugh Jackman to sign on for Deadpool and Wolverine. And then that's when Deadpool made sense. That's when Deadpool came together. So, and I've been sitting here saying, like, wait a minute, you're waiting for some magic secret sauce for Blade? I mean, it's a vampire movie. Do you really need that? But even if you did, Wesley Snipes is right there. That's your secret sauce. You already in the multiverse. What are we doing? Like, what else are we doing? So, fast forward, as many of you already saw earlier this week, we got another update on Blade, which was Marvel Studios won't be coming out The Blade won't be coming out on November 7th, 2025, because production was supposed to start like next month. And rather, Disney is going to use that slot to do Predator Badlands. All right. So the news headline that had been going around was that Blade was delayed indefinitely. Now, the indefinitely part is what I think rattled a lot of people. And hello, I'm a lot of people. I didn't like it because we've been going through delay after delay after delay after delay. Um, and I think a lot of us have been under the assumption of like, why is this so hard? Now, I want to be fair because somebody had brought it to my attention and they were like, hey, people keep talking about this only being a vampire movie and what's so hard about just doing that. And one of the arguments that was brought up was, well, the second and third Blade movies, those were only about vampires and they didn't do too well. Now, I would argue that, yeah, everything is not always going to hit, but that third Blade movie, y'all literally tried to replace Blade in his own movie. That might do it. That might do it. But I agree to an extent that you don't want it to just be a vampire movie. You're in the MCU. It's 2024. Now, does Blade need to go fight Thanos or go do no. But I understand that you will want to have something that makes sense in this universe for it to work. Now, I'd also argue Moon Knight didn't have to do none of that. Moon Knight just existed. So, just saying, Marvel can do whatever they want. But let me read a couple of these updates here or whatever's in this article, and then we'll get into some other points. Yes, this was first announced in San Diego Comic-Con in 2019. Now, Mia Goth, who's supposed to play Lilith, she's supposed to play the big baddie in Blade. She did come out and say, and we reported on this, that Marvel, they really, really care. They do. They want to make a great movie. That's the sense I get from them, and that feels good. And this article goes on to say that Marvel boss Kevin Feige, it's important for him, it's important to make the best Blade movie ever. The studio won't make the movie until they've cracked a great script. And that sounds just to be in line with what Kevin Feige has been saying and all of that. I want to address a couple other things here too. First of all, I want to address some people online. So when I made a comment, I made a tweet. Can I pull up my tweet? Yeah, I can pull up my own tweet. Hold on. See, y'all should be following me anyway. But I made a post and it was getting a little. I think it wasn't a spicy post. I think it was just kind of like, I was just saying how I felt. Where is it? Yeah, okay. So this was the post I made. And I said the problem that Marvel Studios is going to have to contend with is that while they wanted to do something spectacular, everybody just wanted something cool, grounded, action-packed, vampire flick, and throw Wesley Snipes in there. And we good. We don't need all that razzle dazzle, you know? So the disappointment here, it does feel like Marvel got in their own way because I feel like this could be an easy $1 billion movie. And it would be something for the culture. I personally believe that the Blade movie could have a similar impact that Black Panther had and Deadpool 3. But Marvel wants this to be so great. And I do believe Mahershala Ali deserves better. Now, let me address a couple things from that tweet. I saw some people trying to go along and be like, this isn't Marvel's fault. It's Mahershala Ali's fault. And I was like, what? And they were like, well, yeah. Didn't you see where he said he wants this to be his Black Panther? I was like, yeah. So what? And they were like, yeah. And he's the one, he's got all this approval and all this stuff, and he can, deny scripts and all that. So all these delays are his fault. I'm like, all of them? First of all, I'm fine with all of that. I'm fine with a two-time Oscar award winner wanting something to be great, especially given the fact that Marvel had no plans of making a Blade movie to begin with. This was not on their radar. This is from Marvel themselves. It wasn't until Mahershala Ali called them and said, I want to do a Blade movie. And they was like, oh, snaps, we got Ali. Let's go. So I'm not going to begrudge this black man who has earned his right and his place to call shots on the delays of these movies because he wants this to be great. Not to mention, we heard the rumors of how some of these scripts had Blade being replaced by a daughter, and he was like a fourth character. And I'd say no to that too. I would rather him say no to those type of things and hold up the movie than for a crappy movie to come out. So I don't have a problem with that. And I'm still not going to hold him completely accountable for all the delays. Maybe he did do some, and I'm okay with that. But this still goes back to Marvel. Why? The reason why I say this goes back to Marvel is because, and let me be let me be nice first. Let me be nice. Y'all know E-Man's a nice guy. I believe Marvel. I believe Kevin Feige that they do want a Blade to be the best. I believe them. In the past, and I've quoted this before, Kevin Feige has acknowledged how Blade saved Marvel. He's acknowledged how Blade was so unique and so special because it basically was giving him the idea that, hey, here's a character nobody really knows a lot about, and look how successful it could be. Kevin Feige took that principle and applied it to the MCU. So Kevin Feige knows that he owes a lot to Blade. So I'm not going to pretend that Marvel just doesn't want to see a black man succeed. No, that does not line up with what they've been doing or what they've said or what other people in the industry have said about them. All of that doesn't, y'all can believe whatever conspiracies you want, but we go off of the evidence around here. That does not line up. So I'm trying to be nice. Marvel's trying. Now, Kevin Feige also acknowledged that a lot of times movies take time and they do have issues. This is something that is also true. Let me bring up an example for y'all. What's going on with Constantine 2? Do y'all know how long Constantine 2 has been in discussion and pre-development and all this talks and all that stuff? Do y'all know how it's been years? Years. You can go back to interviews from almost 8 years ago with Keanu Reeves saying, yes, I want to do it. Yes, we're trying to get it together. Yes, we're doing it. Yes, 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 yes. Constantine too. But are any of us up in arms about the delays with Constantine 2? Now, I'm saying this as someone who loved the first Constantine movie. I've been excited for any type of news with Constantine 2. But notice the difference in our reaction when we hear nothing about Constantine 2. Listen, if you were not following me, if you were not locked into the small niche of movie news updates, would you even know the status of Constantine 2? Would you even know that Constantine 2 was something that was still happening? You probably wouldn't. Most people probably wouldn't. But what is the key difference there? What makes that different than Blade? The difference, and this is where I believe Marvel, yes, you are at fault, is because nobody sat here and took Keanu Reeves on one of the biggest nerdy platforms and said, hey, y'all, we gonna do a Constantine 2, y'all, and Keanu's here. Put on the hat, man. Put on the hat. They didn't do that. But Marvel, you did. Marvel, y'all paraded Mahershala Ali out there since 2019 at Comic-Con Hall H, which is one of the biggest platforms for nerd news. Y'all put that announcement out there. So in other words, the expectations were raised by Marvel by announcing something that, in my opinion, they were irresponsible with. They were irresponsible because y'all should have had a script and a director already locked down. Before you go talking about Mahershala gonna be Blade, before y'all talk about any of that, y'all should have had that stuff done first. Why? Because production hell happens all the time, but we don't follow it. We don't know about it. Y'all think that's the first time an actor turned down a script and caused a delay? Y'all think that's the first time a director left a project? Y'all think that's the first time a studio has gone through 50 million different scripts? It's not new. But at the same time, we've never had our expectations raised like this from the studio to even begin to care. That's the difference. That's why I'm disappointed, because y'all raised my expectations. And furthermore, not only did the announcement be a problem, it was still on Marvel to do anything else with Blade. The only thing we've gotten in 5 years is a voice. Nobody knows what Blade from Mahershala Ali even looks like. We don't have any concept art. We don't have any cameos. We don't have anything. So here's the thing, Marvel, I understand developmental issues happen. I get it. I'm not even begrudging y'all on that. I'll be the first person to say, take your time and make it great. But you mean to tell me y'all couldn't find not one time, not one place, not one instance to say, Mahershala, put on a trench coat, get your shades. We need you in this post-credit scene. Not once? Nothing? Y'all couldn't give us an appetizer? We sitting here at the table with nothing but water. Like, what? You couldn't give us a breadstick? What are you doing? Giving that Blade voiceover is like saying, here goes some crackers. The meal's coming later. Why? Here's the difference. Remember when Marvel, because I think Marvel was operating on the way that they used to do things. When they got Chadwick Boseman to be Black Panther, they called this man up and said, hey, man, you want to be Black Panther? Because he was trying to be something else. I forget what he tried to audition to be, but he was like, yeah, let's go. You didn't need a script. You didn't need a director, because you were just, all you needed was the actor. They brought him out on stage with Robert Downey and Chris Evans and Comic-Con. I think it was Comic-Con. And they were like, hey, Black Panther's coming in Captain America Civil War. And it was great. But you know why that was different? Because it was just a supporting role. It was not Black Panther the movie. That's not what they promised us. They just said Black Panther the character is here, and he's going to debut right there in Captain America Civil War. And it worked just fine. It was perfect. He had a great cameo. He showed up, and that definitely got the excitement going. And right after that, they were like, you know what? Now we'll go ahead and do a movie. That was responsible. Y'all didn't do that with Blade. You still haven't done that with Blade. This is the only thing you could do with Blade. All you would have to do is literally at least give us a quick cameo. Maybe you got to pay Mahershala a little extra bread. Maybe you do. Maybe you got to find something in the schedule. I don't think that's asking for much. So at the end of the day, this whole image of Marvel has been a problem that's been created by Marvel. The fact that everyone, I've seen this on different outlets, on different, social media chatter, people like, yo, Marvel, why are you fumbling this bag? Why are you fumbling this? What is the problem? Again, this stuff happens all the time. But y'all created this mess. You got our hopes up. And on top of that, you've done nothing to maintain that in the meantime. That voiceover, bro, ain't nobody thinking of Eternals. Nobody is thinking of Eternals. Half of people don't even remember that was even Blade's voice in Eternals. You can't find that one instance to bring this brother up, show him out, something. TV show? You had the TVA drop the line in Loki about vampires. You couldn't just show Blade somewhere? So this is all on Marvel. I do have some good news, because I don't like to be all doom and gloom. Since we like rumors and stuff, And I told you all about how it was previously reported months ago at this point that Mahershala was cool. He was like, "Yeah, I like this writer. I like this script. We good." Well, we got further confirmation about how Mahershala is actually feeling. Now this comes from John Roca. He works with Jeff Snyder, so they privy to some inside information. And it says here, Mahershala Ali reportedly met with Marvel Studios, so this is more recent, and is happy with the current direction of Blade. He also has no issues with the delay of the film. Now, I've said this before and I'll say it again. If Mahershala Ali is happy, then so am I. If he's okay with something, so am I. This is the guy that brought the idea to Marvel to begin with. This is the guy who has earned the respect of being a two-time Oscar Award winner. This man is super talented. He knows what he's doing. So and here's the thing, there's also stuff in here that we don't know. We don't have all the information. We don't know all the stuff that's going on behind the scenes. But if it is true that he is happy and he's content, and even if this delay does not bother him, then that to me sounds as though things are at least moving in the right direction. But we cannot neglect the fact that it is still frustrating to hear this because Marvel raised our expectations to begin with. So, with that said, just gonna have to wait. I think that we still need a director because there is no director attached right now. Um, I think they need to nail this. Y'all need to get like a really great director. We need, you know, like I like the rumors with the James Samuel, even though he said that wasn't true. I've already said F. Gary Gray would be cool. If they could land a Jordan Peele, just that name recognition, I think would work. Um, but yeah, I mean, you got to blow me away with some sort of director that is really going to be impressive. I think that right there will help take this up a notch and really, man, can you get Guillermo del Toro? Whew. If we can get Guillermo in it, man, pay that man, pay that man to make a Blade movie. Anyway, so yes, I will say that I was so mad when I heard this because it wasn't like, oh, it's just delayed. No, they said indefinitely. They took this off the calendar. But at the same time, there is a lot of stuff happening. We just went through the whole list of all these MCU movies that are coming out. Personally, personally, I believe that Marvel, while I know they want to try and make this great, I would be like, y'all need to drop everything. I don't care about Cap 4. I don't care about Thunderbolts. They could be good, but I don't care. Fantastic Four, y'all could put that to the side. Ain't nobody really lining up for that right now. Blade is the number one movie that y'all should be focusing all your energy on right now because that will be a $1 billion movie and it will be something for the culture. And let me explain what I mean by that. When I said it had the Black Panther element and it had the Deadpool element, the Black Panther element is just the fact that black folks respect Wesley Snipes and we like Blade. I'm not saying only black folks. I'm saying that aspect of the culture, we put respect on that. We will turn up for that. I haven't heard not one person talk about, I'm going to show up in my red, blue, and white, outfit to go watch Cap 4. Nobody's doing that. Okay. Now, when you look at Black Panther, what did we do, man? We was ready to bring the cookouts. We was gonna bring the food. We was gonna cook out literally outside the theater. We was gonna sit here and bring our dashikis. People was gonna bring their family, their friends to come and watch it 3, 4, 5 different times. That's the cultural impact. You don't think that Blade gonna have the same thing? You don't think we gonna go full black emo on y'all? You don't think we're gonna walk in there with our shades and our trench coats being in all black? You don't think black folks are gonna make this a cultural movie? This gonna be something, okay? And on top of that, the fact that this is a rated R film, let me explain something. Deadpool and Wolverine, that was cool, made over $1 billion. But look how it needed to do it. It needed to be a third movie in an established franchise. and it needed the star power of Hugh Jackman. So you needed an even bigger character and actor, and you needed hella cameos. You needed all of that just to do close to what Black Panther did by himself. An all-black movie with an all-black cast crew, a relatively new unknown character, not real new, but new to general audiences. Didn't need not one Avenger to help them. Didn't need Thanos. Didn't need, Captain America. Didn't need Iron Man. Didn't need a Hulk. Didn't need no help. And did all that legwork on its own. Didn't we just talk about the fear the execs, Lupita was talking about the fear the execs had on that? Listen, I need you to trust in the culture. Trust Black culture. Because I promise you, Blade will be that movie for us. And I know it might be a little cliche or whatever, but listen, that will be the new Black. That will be the thing that becomes the new cool thing. Okay? The Black dollar matters. We put a lot of money into a lot of things and we make those things cool because they're not part of the status quo. That is the basic definition of being cool, is going against the grain. You give us an authentic Blade. And I would argue that you really have to. I'm not saying it's got to be super Afrocentric and all that, because that's not what Blade was. But I'm just saying, if you give Blade that flavor, you put some seasoning on that Blade. That's something that Wesley Snipes was able to do brilliantly. You put that in this movie, you're going to have $1 billion with a rated R movie on top of that, which is huge. Huge. So anyway. What do you guys think about Blade being delayed indefinitely? I know some people are saying just cancel it. Some people are saying get rid of Mahershala Ali, get somebody younger. I'm going down with the ship. I am going down with the ship. I will not give up on Blade until I hear that it is actually canceled, because right now it's not canceled. But I'm gonna go down with the ship because I want this. I want this to work. I want it to be successful. Y'all already know I'm buying out a theater for this. It's gonna be a watch party. We're going all out for this. But you guys let me know what you think in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching. This was just a segment of one of my live chats, and if you're interested in joining in on the next one, be sure to subscribe and turn on your notifications for more. I've got more videos and reviews to do for you all, and until next time, I'll see you all later.